everybody. Tricia Howard, aka Tricia Kicks SaaS here for Gestalt IT. I'm here with JP Petty from Pure Storage. How's it going?
Very well. How are you doing, Tricia?
I'm doing fabulous. It is yet another day here in 2020. So I don't even know what day it is because of 2020. I was really excited to talk to you because I was able to work with the Pure team on a blog around Pure as a service, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So thanks for sitting down with me. I wanted to kind of start off a little bit personal. You have an extensive background as a storage engineer. So taking that hat on, when you were first made aware of Pure as a service, like what excited you about that most personally?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. The thing that interested me the most was, coming from the virtualization space into storage, cloud was always something that was very, very interesting to me. So being able to see a product come to market where customers can get the benefits of cloud, even if they're locked into an on-prem infrastructure, was incredibly exciting because, in my career, there were a lot of applications that made sense to move to the cloud, but the cloud just didn't make sense for those apps. So this is a great way for customers to be able to deploy and get the benefits of cloud, even if it's locked on-prem.
That's great to know. And I mean, bang for your buck is everything when we're talking about SaaS, right? Anything SaaS, anything cloud. So how does Pure as a service play into that? How does it give the financial power back to the customer instead of it being on the vendor, which it's been traditionally?
Yeah, absolutely. When you're doing CapEx purchasing, you get into the cycle every 3 to 5 years, you're doing a negotiation. And in some cases, you're being held hostage at the end of your contract because, they're asking you for maintenance at, sometimes it goes exorbitant terms. So the real value of Pure as a service is that you get clear per unit costs that are going to extend for the entire contract, and you can renew the contract at the end of the terms. So instead of trying to, renegotiate and renegotiate, I know exactly what my costs are on an application by application basis. It makes it super simple for customers.
Yeah, that's true. That's really awesome. And we've seen a lot of changes in the storage industry. Back when I was in more of my UC and like VAR days, I remember like the old days of storage, right? So can you talk a little bit about that, about the evolution of storage and not only where we were and where we are, but where you think we're going in the next couple of years?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Flash has, in a lot of ways, commoditized storage. What makes a difference is that customers now have the option of being able to consume it more in a cloud model. So that I think is the biggest trend that's happening in the industry, especially for customers that are doing SaaS applications, or any kind of retail manufacturing customer where they're recognizing costs, and revenue on a monthly basis. It makes their accounting so much easier. But ultimately, what it comes down to is being able to pay for what you use and not overpay for stuff that you're not going to use. That's really what's leading the charge with these whole flexible consumption models, and I feel like Pure as a Service is really well positioned for it.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you said it, and we need to be real. I mean, storage has become a commodity, not only on the business side, but even in our personal lives. So that's really cool to see how it's turned into more of a business enabler rather than just a cost center as it's been seen traditionally. That
Yeah,
was really
absolutely.
compelling on the story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. The interesting thing is that we took a cue from the hyperscalers when we constructed the offer. So we didn't want to do something that was a 3 to 5 year term where you're committing to 80% of your capacity, and it's basically just like buying a box. We want to do short terms, easy in, easy out if it's necessary, and really deliver what has become a commodity service in a way that's most cost beneficial to customers, and also give them some operational benefits in the meantime.
Yeah, that's great. That's absolutely, that's great. Okay, so I'm a security person. I had to throw at least one security question in there. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, all right. So I'm sure you've seen it. We've seen tons of ransomware attacks in the news lately, pretty notable ones. And of course, what does ransomware go after? It goes after data. And it's caused a lot of concern within putting your data into a cloud or a more of a SaaS model, right? So Can you talk about that? Like, how do you believe a more SaaS type of model, and specifically, Pure as a service, helps increase security in regards to storage?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've been focused on security from day one. We have solutions that focus around ransomware, both prevention and mitigation, and all of those are consumable in a service model. The other interesting thing about Pure as a Service, while we're not adding extra security software on top of it. Any CISO will tell you that the reasons that there are vulnerabilities are not because patches don't exist; they're because the patches weren't applied. So having a third party, the people that actually built the gear, manage the hardware and software stack for you, be able to apply those patches in real time when they're necessary. It provides a security benefit that is really tough to do when you've got a limited team of storage admins that are responsible for provisioning and also keeping the lights on. And oh, by the way, I also have to sit by my inbox and make sure that I don't have a critical security patch come through that I miss. So the process lends itself to a more secure environment.
Yeah, don't get me started on patch management or lack thereof. Yeah, it's really huge. And I mean, but that really kind of ties into a whole other thing, which is just management in general, right? And if we've seen anything from 2020, it's that business continuity and disaster recovery is key, right? And storage management really comes into that. So, how does Pure play into that, or Pure as a service specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the cool things that we do with the service is we maintain about 20 to 25% headroom above the high water mark for what a customer uses. That's in a primary site, and also if you're using Pure as a service at a DR site. So you've always got this available capacity that you don't have to pay for until you actually use it. So in worst case scenario, you've got an extended outage event. You can bring up your tier one systems based on the run book. And if you have an extended outage and you need to start bringing up tier two, tier three systems, you have the headroom to be able to do that. And you don't have to buy gear that sits idle for most of the year to support that. You burst into it for the few weeks or the few months that you need it. And then as soon as you're done, you back out and your costs are not significantly impacted because, honestly, in that kind of event, you're going to have a lot of cost impact and storage shouldn't be one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, JP. This was really, really informative. I wanted to kind of open up the floor. Is there anything else you wanted to add in there before we wrap it up?
No, not at all. Just I appreciate the opportunity. It's great seeing you again. Great chatting, and we'll see how the rest of 2020 goes. But if the first 9 months have been any kind of indication, I think we're going to get more SaaS, more cloud, and love to hear more about you talking about that
Absolutely. It's going to be a sassy year, that's for sure.
for sure.
Um, well, thank you so much, JP. Once again, I am Tricia Howard, aka Tricia Kicks Sass, here for Gestalt IT, sitting down with JP Petty of Pure Storage. Thank you so much.
Thanks.